Hello everyone, this is Gage from Gondorian Smith, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys another 3rd Age Reforged online multiplayer battle replay, and this one is an 8-player team free-for-all on the Dead Marshes, so that is a 2 versus 2 versus 2 versus 2, and it was done on large settings, and I was actually surprised that it did not crash. It only crashed once when we tried to do it on huge, then when we just changed the unit size to large, it actually did not crash, which was nice. So the money was 26k per team, which that means 13k per player, so just pretty standard in terms of money. And my team is going to be, of course, myself commanding the army of Gondor, and then over here we have got Starling playing as Dale. So we can go ahead and go into the army compositions, beginning with my own. And now, as the Dead Marshes, it kind of puts a twist on the normal pitch battlefield, mainly because, you know, of all these different canals and just little pathways. It means cavalry is not going to be quite as effective. However, it can be effective, but generally you have to just walk an extraordinarily long way around in order to actually make it useful. And even if that's the case, a person could just literally put like one pike unit like right here, and then that completely cuts off any cavalry trying to go through. So generally, when you see players on this map, they'll invest more on the infantry and on their skirmishers rather than on their cavalry. And that is why I actually have got 2 units of the standard Gondor archers, both with 1 armor upgrade, as well as 2 units of the Rim's Core garrison archers, so just a bunch of, you know, just standard bowmen. I've got 2 units of the AP Citadel Guard. They've got 8 attack, 20, high 20s, mid 20s, something in terms of defense, and they are AP, which makes them very nice against armor. However, being spears, they do have that malice, that -4 malice against other infantry, but because these guys are more elite than most other spearmen, they should be able to deal with that relatively well. I also have 3 units of completely upgraded Gondor infantry, that with both armor upgrades and with 1 attack upgrade. You can see 1 here protecting my Fountain Guard, and the other 2 are back here. I also have got 2 units of course, of the AP Fountain Guard halberds / pikes. I've also got 2 units of the AP Pelargir Marines. These guys should do good, mainly because some of the canals are actually, well, some of the waterways are actually quite thin, which means you can actually like put a unit of javelins here and actually be able to throw across the river and cause a lot of damage that way. Yeah, so I've got 2 units of them. I also have 2 units of the Axemen of Lossernach with 1 armor upgrade to provide some more AP, which will be nice and useful. Then I've got my 2 more units here of Gondor infantry, and then way over here I've got 1 unit of the Gandalf's retinue bodyguard. Not quite knights, but they are 2 HP lancers still, and they also have very good shield values and are very heavily armored, so they should do quite well overall. We can now see my ally, who is, of course, Starling commanding Dale. He's got 2 units of Bardian Marksmen, 2 units of Dalian Marksmen, 1 unit of Athala Rangers hidden in here. He's got 1 of the Morquendi Elvish bows, so these guys are very good in melee because they do pull out the 2-handed swords. That is pretty normal for most Elven archers. Also, they do have Elven accuracy. He has the AP Blackshot Dragon Slayers, who are also very good in melee, as well as some Dalian Royal Guard for his general. Not AP, but also still very elite bowmen that are also extremely deadly in melee. He has the AP 2-hit point Girian's Paladins back there. He's also got a couple units of the AP Barding Herd Halberds, and he's got 2 units of the Earls of Esgaroth, as well as 1 unit of the Civilians. So definitely going skirmish heavy here. Going to be trying to hold the line with his Barding Herd and Earls of Esgaroth long enough for all of these archers to start wreaking havoc on the enemy. And over here we can see, nicely encamped on this hill, we have got Lord Grixis playing as Mordor. Now thankfully he does pull off this hill eventually, but he does sit up here for quite some time. However, he's got 2 units of the Orc Archers up here, just some low-tier archers. He's got 3 units, I think, of the Mornon Infantry kind of spread around. He's got 1 catapult up here, going to be firing down on my position pretty shortly here. He's got 3 units of the Orc Fodder, 2 units of the Minas Morgul Chosen Spearmen. He's also got 1 unit of the unupgraded Temple Executioners, some Troll Drummers to provide some morale support. He also, down here, has 2 units of the Mornon Heavy Maulers, which should do well against both myself and Dale, because we both have some pretty good armor. However, these guys themselves do not have very good armor and no shields, which makes them an excellent target for skirmishers. He also has 1 unit of the Black Legion of Barad-dûr, 1 more unit of the Minas Morgul Chosen. He's got his Olaghai, and he also has his Nazgul for the General's Bodyguard. These guys are, of course, extraordinarily deadly in melee. However, there are, of course, very few in number. That'll pretty much do it for his army, so we can now go to his ally, who is over here, actually. I just went past him. So, it is going to be Frodo. He's going to be playing as Umbar. He's got, I believe, 3 units of the Belagir Footmen, just some cheap spears. That will be going with 3 units of the Corsair Pikemen, just to provide some armor and shield. He also has 2 units of the Corsair Blackguard, some very deadly javelins. They're also very good in melee. He's got 2 units of the Corsair Archers, I believe only 1 unit of the Crossbow Corsairs, 1 unit of the Castamir's Rangers, who are going to be very good in this kind of choke pointy situation. He's got some Numenorean Shield Guard, I believe 2 units of Numenorean Shield Guard. He's got, I believe, 3 units of the Castamir's, no, just 2 units actually, of the Castamir's Legion, as well as some Aberzenum Nardubawi. He also has some Naruinaro Royal Guard for his general somewhere in this blob. But that'll pretty much do it for his army. So we can now go see all of the Elves, and also Angmar, no less. So the first, well, also I should mention that Umbar and Mordor are a team, Gondor and Dale are a team, Angmar and the Mirkwood are going to be a team. And we have got Stewed Balrog playing as the Witcher Realm of Angmar. He's got 3 units of fully upgraded Guardians of Carndum with their nice black armor and very furry cloaks. He also has 1 unit of the Witchers, who again, in this kind of choke pointy situation, will be very, very damaging. However, you do have to be very careful when using these guys because they are very susceptible to arrow fire, especially when it's from the Elves. He's got 1 of the Witch Realm Inquisitors, who are extraordinarily deadly melee knights. They have a +10 bonus against other cavalry, so they will be able to just butcher almost any cav that it decides to engage them. Also, when they're supported by the Warg skirmishes here, it's going to be very, very difficult to deal with the Angmar cav. Also, over here, we have got the Witch Realm Blackguard. Nice 2 HP Sword and Shield Infantry. That's going to be the bodyguard of Angmar. He's got 1 unit of the unupgraded Blackwatch Legion and 2 units of the Witch Realm Scourge with their armor upgrades. He also has some Snaga Stalkers and I think some Snaga Trackers, so the low tier archers around here somewhere as well. And now over here we can see part of the Master Blaster Realm of Mirkwood army. He's got 1 unit of the Horse Archers. He's also got 1 unit of the, if I can look at them, IRR Brandon Nanwaith, if I'm correct, just off of memory. Yeah, that is what they're called. And they are not quite knights, but they are 2 HP. And I think they might technically be spear cav, but they're also effective against armor. He also has 1 unit of the Maethar Elasgalen Javelins. He's got 3 units of the Thendrimi Aaron Spears, as well as 3 units of the Megali Aaron Light Infantry. And he also has some Thurny Tower, some of the knife-throwing assassins, and he's also got the bodyguard unit that I can't remember the name of. But don't worry, we will see his entire army pretty shortly here. Over here, we have got the next army, which is going to be Tangerine playing as the Realm of Imladris. And he brought a surprising army because he invested very heavily in the Imladris cav, which is good, but on this kind of a map, cavalry isn't going to be super effective. However, he does have 1 unit of the Gwaith Erokdor for his general, I believe. He also has got 1 unit of the Eldrenway Heru Myro. And he's got 1 unit of the Imladris Sentinel Spear cav. He also has 1 unit of the Nortino Warrior Lancers. And over here, he's got 1 of the Gwyeth I Arthand, previously known as the Fallis Lords. He's got some Imladris Guardians that are unupgraded, 2 units of the Imladris Blade Masters, who are very deadly, very skillful shock infantry, 1 of the Eldrenway Heru Hatal Spears, very good at holding, and also because they are elves, they actually can cause quite a bit of damage. He's got 1 of the Eldar Makar, 1 unit of the Eldar Hetar, and then 2 units of Eldar Quinget and 2 units of Noratino Warriors. Over here, we can now see his ally, who is also going to be playing as elves. He's going to be playing as the Realm of Lindon, and it's going to be commanded by Uthrid. He's got some of the Noldorn Horse Lord Knights for his general's bodyguard. He's got some Mithlond Lancers. He also has got 2 units of the Forlindon Archers, 2 units of Forlindon Marines, 2 units of Noldorn Guard, 3 units of the Mithlond Swordmasters Shock Infantry. Very deadly in melee, however they are very lightly armored. He's got 3 units of the Harlandon Infantry, and he's got 2 units of the Harlandon Guard, and that pretty much does it for his army, although he may have some Rangers hidden around here, although I'm not totally positive about that. But without any further ado, we can go ahead and start the battle off, and because these 2 teams over here are so far away from each other, it actually does definitely start close, or start fastest over on my end, just because of how close I am in proximity to Mordor. So I actually am going to take like 1 or 2 volleys off into these Moron infantry because their kind of flanks were exposed to me. So I am going to be able to take out a few of them, but not too many, so I will stop firing at them pretty shortly here. The catapult up here is going to be in a prime position to target my infantry. And also something I think I forgot to mention is that I also do have a unit of the Nimlothian Honor Guard here. 2 HP spears that are AP, and unlike other elites that on large I believe are like 43 or like 48, they actually do have a few more men in the unit, which means they don't have to be supported quite as much. However, because they are spears, they do have that -4 malice against other infantry. Also, they actually do inspire courage into their friendlies around them. And you can see my whole army going into loose formation here because I do not want to take any unnecessary losses. And he will be continuously firing at me, but because all of my troops are in loose formation, I'm completely fine with this. Because if he only kills like 1 or 2 men with each volley, that means it's going to be a pretty big waste of a unit that costs 1,000 florins, which is perfectly okay with me. Taking out 1 of the Peregrine Marines and 1 unit of, and 1 Fountain Guard there. And over here you can see my Gandalf's new bodyguard thinking of getting a charge off, because if you look closely, you can see that this catapult is actually kind of unsupported currently. However, there are some fodder moving over to help out with that. Also, Dale, Starling is going to come over to my aid and will set up his defense right over here. Or well, just set up over here. He's not going to be technically defending necessarily. Also, my Gondor archers with their armor upgrade will be able to tank a lot of those Mordor arrows. And because he's only got 2 units of archers, that means once these guys are out of ammo, I will definitely have the skirmishing advantage. However, that being said, Umbar does have a lot of skirmishers, and they're going to be relatively difficult to deal with just because of the actual amount of them that he does have currently. And there you can see the shield guard. Shield guard, very good spears, mainly because they are unbreakable, so they're very tough to just grind through unless you have a lot of AP. That catapult's still firing. There's my Gandalf's new bodyguard. I actually did take 1 loss. Oh, no, actually, taking a few more losses. That was probably not the best move by me. I did take 3 losses, and I don't even think I killed that many of the, if any, of the catapult crew. Over here, you can see the catapult still firing, but again, that unit was better, or that hit was better. Took out 4 of my Fountain Guard, but still not huge, not a huge deal, especially because he's mainly missing for the most part. So it's fine with me if you waste that unit just on killing a few guys at a time, because catapults are by no means cheap. Over here, though, we'll take a look at what's going on. You can see that the cavalry of Mirkwood is moving forward, as well as the cavalry of Imladris, and around the edge it looks like the Rokdor going all the way around. But over here we can actually see some of the hidden units that Mirkwood had to offer. The Thurn E Tower, looks like 2 units of them. He's also got, oh no, this is Angmar now. He's got some Snaga archers, some Goblin trackers. Oh, also, I forgot to mention that Stewed Ballard also, of course, is going to be bringing the 2 units of Barrow Wights, in addition to his Stalkers and everything like that. Yes, here you can see them. Very, very good Tarpet units. Extraordinarily useful at just shoring up a line and making sure the enemy does not push through. Really the easiest way to deal with these guys is charging them with AP Lancers. That's basically the only way you can really deal with these guys effectively. Arrows, you're just going to waste all of them because of the 3 hit points. And these guys aren't particularly damaging, but they can just slow you down for so long and allow your enemy a lot of time to decide what he wants to do. However, we can go ahead and take a look over here, and I really hope that Imladris does not pick a fight over here with this Mirkwood Cav, because as you can see, there are archers lining this whole area right here, so if he pushes forward even a little bit, he will take a lot of losses. Also, there's javelins here, and oh, unfortunately, yeah, these Imladris Sentinels rushing forward, this is not good. They are Spear Cav, but they don't have shields, so you can see they're taking a ton of losses to all of those archers. And now here come the 2 HP Ire Arbren Nenwaith. And that's going to pretty much be the end of that unit right there. Oh, here comes some Missile and Lancers to support, but again, they are now also in range of those Thurny Tower and Snaga Archers, so it's not really looking too great for Lindon and Imladris at the moment. Over here, you can see that Umbar is kind of setting up over to the left of his ally, over on this way. I was going to be trying to sneak around a unit. Yeah, you can see my Gandalf's bodyguard trying to move around here and try to charge into these Corsair archers. However, Frodo was able to stop me just by putting a unit of pikes here, and that's basically what I mean by cavalry, just being able to be completely zoned out by only like 1 unit of just pikes just setting up across this whole area. However, you can see that this little edge of the archers are actually still available to get charged at, so I might think about doing that. However, I do have to be very careful when deciding if I'm going to do that or not. And yeah, very unfortunate. You can see the Imladris Sentinels completely killed off, and a lot of these Lancers were also shot to death. And finally, the Elves are pushing forward their own foot archers to try and help out and cause a little bit of payback damage to the Mirkwood and Stewed Balrog. Yeah, the Thurny Tower light archers, very damaging, very accurate, but they do not have great armor. Here comes some Snaga archers, great in terms of actual volume, but not particularly damaging or accurate. Oh, but here come the Witch Elm Inquisitors and the Warg Skirmishers. So if they're able to get some charges off into these archers over here, it's going to be very, very good. I mean, the Harlandon Guard are technically spears, but there's a lot of archers around here. And if the Elves decide to focus fire the Knights and Warg Skirmishers, they're going to die very quickly, even with their 2 HP. Over here, unfortunately, I was trying to move my archers back, but they decided to go forward. They're actually getting caught out in melee by some of these orc fodder, so I'm going to take a few unnecessary losses, but for the most part, I will be able to retreat without taking too many. Over here, you can see the Black Legion of Barad-dûr taking a few fire arrow volleys, just because I wanted to cause a little bit more damage. Thankfully, Gondor does not have the same issue with elves. That is, of course, the one where the elven fire arrows are body-piercing. These ones are just normal fire arrows. Corsair archers are at a good position to fire at me, so I'm going to be having to put some of my own archers around here. Also, you can see I did push up a unit of Pelargir Marines. Unfortunately, I was a little focused elsewhere, particularly with my archers that were in the fight. But I didn't notice that these guys were getting horrendously skirmished down by the Corsair archers. Normally this would be fine because it is wasting the arrows there, but because these guys are not in loose formation, they are taking a lot of unnecessary losses. However, they were able to soften up, it looks like, a few of these Belagir footmen and Corsair pikes, but not really causing enough damage to be really worth it. You can see my retinue bodyguard back there. Honestly, if I wanted to, I would maybe be able to get a cheeky charge back here into the Stalkers or the Megali Aaron, but I'm not going to risk that. I don't really want to and deal with that, especially because if I were to do that, then that would mean he might send some cavalry over my way. But again, some really risky plays here by the Imladris player with his cavalry. Rushing his lancers through this entire line of archers is good, but he is going to get caught now by some Goblin Band spears and by the Warg skirmishers, so this will be the end of these Elder and Rahiru Myra. And that's very unfortunate because these guys are very expensive. They cost 1,200 florins. They didn't even have a single hit point, so they are pretty glass cannon-ish. Over here, it looks like the skirmish phase is just pretty much continuing. Unfortunately, Tangerine not putting his Elder Quingar in loose formation, which will result in a lot of losses. However, the infantry fight is about to begin. You can see I'm pushing forward some infantry and some Citadel Guard to hold this choke here. And elsewhere, you can actually see that Dale, my ally Starling, is being assaulted by some orc fodder of Mordor. He's got his civilians rushed forward here, unfortunately, so they will die very quickly. And his own archers are not firing quite yet because they don't have a good target just yet, but they will fire relatively shortly. Hopefully he will fire at things like the Nazgul and Temple Executioners. Over here, going to go ahead and charge with my Gondor infantry into the fodder and Mornon infantry. I do have to be a little bit careful here, though, because I'm outnumbered. I do have Citadel Guard, but I do, of course, have to still be aware of my surroundings. Over here, if we can take a look, my Pelargir Marines were unfortunately routed. However, they were able to throw their entire javelin volleys, which was nice. However, this contingent of 2 Belagir footmen and 2 pikes will now be moving forward here with the archers to assault my infantry and archers that are here as well. So I'm going to be pushing forward my second unit of javelins, and I believe I will be pushing forward my Fountain Guard pretty soon here as well, at least to one area of the battlefield. Because you can see over here, actually, my Gondor infantry, being fully upgraded, they will hold for a while, but you can see that they're actually thinking about routing because of all the fear-inspiring units that are nearby. So I do have to be careful of these guys routing, because that will not be good at all. They're going to be doing a good job at cutting through the orc fodder, and an okay job against the Minas Morgul Chosen, but the Black Legion will be much tougher to deal with. Over here, though, my Citadel Guard kind of going out of formation, unfortunately, in their fight against the Morna Heavy Maulers. This is going to be a somewhat close fight, but I believe with all the Mordor support here, I would lose that fight eventually. But yeah, my infantry, actually, surprisingly enough, while they're getting pushed through, they were not thinking about routing for a second there. Yeah, I'm going to have to commit another unit of Citadel Guard, especially with the advance of these Olaghai here. I need some AP over here quickly. And you can see my Gondor infantry are actually thinking about routing, and that is definitely not good. But with some more AP spears, I should be able to hold this line for at least a little bit longer. I also, so because of all the troops thinking about routing over here, I'm going to go ahead and commit my Nimlaithian Honor Guard pretty much right away. And because of their HP, they will be able to hold for an incredibly long time. Also, you can see that Dale is helping me out here by skirmishing down the backs of these Morn Heavy Maulers, so some good teamwork here by Dale. His front line of Barding Herd is still holding okay, but he does not have a lot of troops left over. Ooh, those crossbow Corsairs trying to be sneaky to go around the flank are absolutely skirmished down. Also, I forgot to mention that Starling does have 2 units of the Lake Town River Patrol as well, so some nice javelins in addition to the rest of his force. But yeah, definitely what's keeping my infantry over here in the fight is the archer support of Starling, and because the Olaghai are here as well, I'm going to go ahead and commit some Axemen of Lossarnach to the fight, and that will see most of those Olaghai off. Also, the catapult is now out of ammo, which is definitely good. Pelargir Marines threw all of their javelins over here. Fountain Guard and Gondor infantry will be able to deal with the pikes and Belgian footmen very easily. There are some archers over here, but they're pretty close to being out of ammo. Meanwhile, oh boy, I'm gonna have to pause this. Yeah, so meanwhile, it looks like, oh, unfortunately, it looks like Uthred decided to march forward with a lot of his infantry, and it looks like he definitely got beaten back with some cycle charges there. Here comes some Eldar Hatar and some more Eldar Klinga, but I don't know. It looks not great, I guess you could say, for Lindon and for Imladris. You can see he's got some more fights going on over here, but here comes some Guardians of Karn Doom, so, oof, nah, not good. Oh, and here comes some Noldorn Horse Lords charging into the IRR Brandon. They are outnumbered by the IRR Brandon. Here comes some Barrow-wights as well, so that is not a fight I think you would want to take if you were playing as Lindon. There are some Goethi Roktor over here, as well as a lot of infantry forces, but I think they're being a little bit too aggressive in some areas and not aggressive enough in others. Because you could definitely push your infantry forward through over here and just try to help out a little bit. My Gandalf's new bodyguard were able to get a charge off into the Castmir's Rangers, but unfortunately they were thinking about routing, just proving how bad fear-inspiring can be for even the bravest of units. Over here, though, the Olaghai are still at 6 left. However, we are starting to kind of hold a little bit better now that I committed more units and just better overall units. However, I am having to commit a lot of different things, which is unfortunate. My archer's constantly firing, and again over here I'm actually committing my second unit of Fountain Guard to, as well as my final unit of Gondor infantry, to once again deal with Corsair pikemen and with Belerier footmen. Over here you can see it's close, but the overall strength of my Fountain Guard paired with the armor, well, paired with the shields, I guess, of the Gondor infantry, is really doing a nice job at cutting their way through these pikes and Belerier footmen, who are just really not going to be able to hold up to that. However, the archers will actually be committed to the fight in a relatively short time. Over here, Starling doing a good job at holding. However, he does have to be careful because he does not have a lot of infantry. You can see most of his Barding Herd are dead. He had to commit his Lake Town River Patrol into the melee. So it's going to be difficult, I think, over here. He does still have a ton of archers that could still be utilized very well. And you can see that there are definitely a lot of dead orcs just kind of lying around because of all the arrows. And here comes some Corsair Blackguards to my front line. And this is bad because they will be able to... Actually, here comes some Castamir's Legion as well, so some better quality. Definitely these guys will be able to cut down things like my Axemen of Lothar and my Gondor Infantry. However, against Citadel Guard and Nimlothian Honor Guard, they will struggle. Yeah, again, the Corsair Blackguards going to be able to throw javelins either at my Citadel Guard or at my Axemen of Lothar, so I'm going to have to commit these guys into the fight just to try to get them out of the way of those javelins. Only 2 Olaghai remain. And over here, 12 Gandalf's new bodyguard. I was just constantly rushing them around, trying to go after things like Castamir's Rangers, Orc Archers, just anything I could get my hands on, basically. Oh, this fight is so... Free-for-alls, I don't tend to do a lot of free-for-alls. Over here, yeah, you can see the Belgian footmen pikes just struggling very heavily. Here comes some archers, though, to even the fight a little bit. But yeah, I generally don't do free-for-alls, which was kind of surprising because this one, you know, was an 8-player free-for-all. Still, though, it was definitely very fun. Eldar Haru Hatal fighting some Guardians of Karn Doom, given some support by some Goethi Roktor. But overall, Lindon and... yeah, Lindon, the archer's getting attacked now. Lindon and Tangerine, who's playing as Imladris, really starting to struggle, it looks like. Here comes some Mithlond Marines. I don't know where they're going. Nortino Cav. Imladris Blade Masters and Mithlond Marines gonna go over here against some Thurny Tower. Ooh, and these Hethel Etar. These guys, looks like they butchered their way through the Noldoran Guard. And there's another unit of Hethel Etar. These guys are two-handed. I believe they wield axes. Very good at ambushing units. And oh boy, these guys, the Goethi Aaron Galen. These guys are so insanely good. Mainly, not only because of their knife throwing capabilities, but because of their 22 skill. Believe it or not, 22 skill is actually better than the Nazgul, who have 21 skill. So they are extraordinarily damaging. However, they do not have very good armor, of course. Over here, I'm blobbing up way too much. You can see I've actually run out of ammo with my archers. However, I am being able to push back against these Castamir's Legion. Here comes some Shield Guard as well. But again, the Blackguards, thankfully, were not firing a ton, which was very good for me. I'm going to try to skirt some Gondor archers around the flanks just to try to silence them. I've only got 5 Gandalf's new bodyguard remaining, but they were constantly charging around. You can see the Castamir's Rangers are actually now down to 46 due to archer fire and rear charges from my Gandalf's retinue. going to go ahead and try to charge with my Gondor archers. These guys will get beat badly in melee by the Corsair Blackguards, especially with the support of the Númenor and Shield Guard. But I just need to commit something over here to at least stop the Blackguards from firing, at least for a little bit. Again, I believe I'm pretty much out of ammo. However, over here you can see the fight is definitely turning in my favor. He had to commit his archers. He's got no more pikes and only a few footmen left over. So I will be able to win this fight. My Gondor infantry and Found Guard, of course, doing extraordinarily well in the fight here. And I will now be able to either commit these guys over here, where I am looking a little bit thinner, or I could try to go all the way around and try to silence the archers and continuously flank. See, there's the Naru Royal Guard. So now I am only down to half my men remaining. Gondor archers still trying to hold on against the Blackguard and Shield Guard just to try to silence them. Over here, Starling, it's looking a little dicey over here. He's having to commit more of his archers into the fray, which that's probably fine because they're most likely out of ammo. And I believe that there's Catherine's Legion, there's Orcs, and I think that the Nazgul might actually be in here as well. So that's probably why his lines are starting to crack a little bit. He's still got his Girian's Paladins as well as some more Earls, and he's still got a lot of archers left over as well. But we should take a look over here and see how things are progressing. Elder Quinga going to get attacked by the Guardians of Krondum. They will lose that fight. However, here comes some Gwaith Rokdor. I'm going to go help out. There are some skirmishers back there. However, with cycle charges from these AP Lancer Knights, that could see those Guardians of Krondum off. Over here, Black Watch Legion charging to some Forlondon Archers and Harlandon Guard who are trying to retreat and still cause some damage. One Mithlond Lancer remains. Here come the Warg Skirmishers going to chase after the Gwaith Rokdor. Only 8 Noratino Cav. Over here, the Eldar Enway Haruhatal, despite being completely surrounded, still holding relatively well and causing a bit of damage. However, at this point, they're just too few number to really win that fight. And yeah, here comes some Mithlond Marines going to get attacked by some Barrow-wights, which is unfortunate because they would have been able to help over there. And oh, you can see the Witchers actually doing some work over here. There's the Ire Argway Nanwaith, the bodyguard unit. Yeah, the Witchers causing a good amount of damage to over here, but I don't know what it was to. Looks like it was actually a little bit of friendly fire. Oh, it was probably to those Noldorn Guard. But yeah, these Gwaith, Aaron Galen, you'll see them be very effective later in the battle as well. Just so good. They were actually doing a good job at butchering these, just anything over here as well. Nortino Warriors, Mithlond Marines going to be committed to the fight. Only 5 Horse Swords left. So yeah, definitely not looking good over there for the Lindon and Imladris Elves. Over here, going to reform my line once again. Unfortunately, I'm providing a little bit of a target for Frodo, but thankfully I think he was actually out of javelins at this time. So I will just be able to continuously just try to hold here. But unfortunately, most of my Citadel Guard, I haven't got much of it left. I've got a few Axemen here to provide some AP. And I do thankfully still have 56 Nimlothian Honor Guard. And they should do quite well against the Castamer's Legion and the Shield Guard. Over here, though, the Archers and Peligir Marines against Shield Guard, that's not going to be too great of a fight, honestly. I still have one good Elfsrender bodyguard, and you can see he actually, he just died. But he was doing an excellent job, actually, at cutting down these Castamer's Rangers, who you can see are now actually down to only 17. Which is very good, because as you can see, they've got an excellent shot at my force here. They could just fire down that entire line. There goes a general, but it looks like that was actually Angmar's general, and you can see even though there's only 17 left, with that body piercing and that good angle, they're still going to be able to do a lot of damage to my forces here. However, that means just I need to continuously push through. There's the Corsair Blackguard is going to put some Ramscore Garrison Archers into them just to try to stop them from firing. Starling also giving me support by shooting into those Blackguards. And over here, things not looking super great. Blackguard's actually firing their javelins into the Archers. Yeah, not looking too good, and that's because the quality of the Castamer's Rangers as well as the Nazgul just butchering their way through Dale's mediocre infantry. So Dale, Starling is going to have to commit his Girian's Paladins as well as his last unit of Earls of Esgaroth pretty shortly here. But it's just going to be, it's looking even, really even over here, just to be honest. However, you can see that I actually was able to commit some more units elsewhere because I was able to beat Frodo's contingent of forces over here. I'm going to split my forces, 1 Fountain Guard and 1 Infantry around the flank, and 1 Fountain Guard and 1 Infantry to the front line over here that is still looking pretty close. And with the advance of the Fountain Guard here, they will be able to really help out against the heavily armored forces that are the Castamer's Legion and the Númenor and Shield Guard. So I'm going to go ahead and put them back into tight formation, give them spear wall, and then just set them up along the entire line. Probably actually over here where the Shield Guard, where the second and more healthy unit of Shield Guard is. And also that is nice because it will actually put them away from those Castamer's Rangers. And it's really unfortunate that I don't have any arrows left over because there's only 17 of them left. But again, because of that great angle, they're still going to be able to do a lot of damage to my flank. However, now that most of my troops have died here, you can see it's actually not going to be as bad. Nimlothian Honor Guard down to 52 now. Still going to be able to hold for a long time. However, actually I won't talk about that quite yet. Yeah, here comes some Gondor Infantry as well. Not going to be a match for the Casimir's Legion or the Shield Guard, but they will be able to at least provide a little bit of support in terms of numbers. Over here, yeah, not looking good for Tangerine and Uthrid. Now the Eldar and Harry Whittal, who were able to kill a lot of these Guardians of Cardoon, but now with the Barrow-wights, looks like they might actually even rout. Over here, Mithlon Marines versus Guardians of Cardoon. It's going to be a close fight. Oh, but with the Barrow-wights there as well as 51 in that unit, the Mithlon Marines will lose. The Arguay, there's still Thurney Tower, still Gwath E. Aaron Galen. Honestly, I don't even know where the rest of Lindon and Tangerine's forces are, to be honest with you. Oh, and there goes Lindon's general. Looks like by now they're just trying to cycle charge, just cause as much damage as possible. 7 Witch Realm Inquisitors and 6. Oh, actually, there's the Gwaith E. Gwaith E. Arthand. Phallus Lords completely surrounded. Actually doing a good job cutting down the Thurney Tower and Witch Realm Blackguard. But yeah, 6 of these Gwaith E. Rokdor, and then I think there's 5 only of the Witch Realm Inquisitors now. So not a lot of the Knights left over, which is definitely good for Starling and I, because we don't really have a lot of answer to Knights, especially as my only cavalry unit is now dead. But yeah, over here, and still, you can see it's still close, especially down on this end, where my Axe of Lothernach and Nimlothian Honor Guard, the remains of my Citadel Guard are. But over here, where my Gondor Infantry are fighting against Blackguards, and in the middle where my Fountain Guard are butchering these spears, it's definitely getting a lot closer. Well, a lot better in terms of a lot more in my favor, if I could speak. And over here, there's the Troll Drummers just, again, giving support. But the overall quality of the Girian's Paladins is going to just be able to butcher their way through these low-tier Bellagear footmen. They're AP, they've got good stats all around, extraordinarily good armor. They've also got 2 hit points, and because they haven't fought until now, they will be able to do a very good job. However, against the Nazgul, it's still going to be a very, very tough fight. You can see the Earls of Esgaroth in particular looks like I've taken the brunt of the damage from those Nazgul. There's a few Maulers in here. There's the Catapult crew, Abrazenim Nardu Bawweeb. And there's the Athala Rangers on the flank, again going to be able to fire down this whole row. Very good play there. There's actually some pikes around as well. Morquendi bows. Over here, the Blackguard and the Casimir's Legion fighting against the Bardian Marksmen, who are by no means bad in melee. And back here, we've still got Blackshot, Dragon Slayers, and Dalian Royal Guard. So while it is going to be close over here, I think Starling will be able to pull it out. Victorious. And over here, now that my Infantry and Fountain Guard are over here, I think I will also be able to win this fight against Umbar. You can see I was actually taking quite a few losses to the Rangers back there, but I actually am now in melee against the Naru and Naru Royal Guard. My Gondor Infantry going to be not great at that fight, but with the AP halberds here, it should be evened out pretty well. And again, this is actually the Umbar General. You can see Castamir there, so if I'm able to take him out, then it's going to be just a lot better overall. And yes, I've got my own general up here in the fight now as well, because you can see the fight's kind of splitting off in kind of 2 chunks now. Over here, I'm doing well, but again, my Fountain Guard, because of this overall power, I guess you could say, they were able to push through these spears and cut most of them all down. However, that is actually making them a easier target for the Castaner's Rangers. So I need to do something quickly before I start taking unnecessary losses. Over here, my Gondor Infantry, looks like it's a pretty close fight between the Blackguards. And with my Fountain Guard here, we will be able to win. I've also got my General back here just to provide some morale support and give rallies where needed. And over here, Citadel Guard and Nimlothian Honor Guard, as well as a few random Axe of Lothernach trying to do their best against Minas Morgul Chosen, who are thinking about routing, some Shield Guard, and some Castamir's Legion. And over here, though, yeah, it's still close. These Bardian Marksmen are actually getting wrapped around. There's the Lake Town River Patrol. And it looks like the infantry over here, the Girian's Paladins and everything, were taken out. Athala Rangers being committed in melee. There is some routing, though, thankfully, for Starling. And, ooh, with his second unit of Javelins over here, he could still turn things back in his favor. Only 2 Temple Executioners, both officers, it looks like, because his unit was unupgraded. And there's still those 10 Nazgul. However, both the Black Dragon Slayers and the Dalian Royal Guard are extraordinarily good in melee. But over here, I think things are pretty much just wrapped up, because like you saw before, they basically only had a few knights remaining. And it looks like, yeah, Stewed Balrog and Master Blaster were victorious over here. But definitely still pretty close. I think the biggest mistake was probably investing so much in cavalry for Imladris, especially because Imladris has such good infantry anyway. It's probably unnecessary to commit so much in that respect. Over here, though, 2 Gwathi Roktor versus 2 Witch Elm Inquisitors. 1 Inquisitor going down, and 1 Gwathi Roktor going down. However, some more infantry and some more cavalry coming in to support. The Gwathi Roktor are going to try to retreat. The last one, but he's going to go down pretty quickly here. Especially with some spears charging straight into his back. He's actually not dying. This is actually the general, I believe, as well. Interesting. But yeah, it looks like that pretty much wrapped it up. It was definitely closer than I at first thought, but all things considered, Master Blaster and Stewed Balrog still do have a lot left over, especially those Barrow-wights. And there goes Frodo's general. So you can go ahead and go back up here, watch the end of this fight. Courser Blackguards. I was actually surprised how well my Gondor infantry did against the Blackguards. Over here as well, Citadel Guard, Nimlothian Honor Guard down to 34, trying to deal with the last of these Castmir's Legion, Shield Guard, and a Minas Morgul chosen. And again, ooh! Very nice Javelin Volley from Starling, taking out not only 1 Nazgul, but also the Mordor General. I don't actually know where that was. Oh, right here. Oh, look at that. That's good. The actual javelins, and then also the Blackshot Dragonslayers, who basically fire javelins, all pelting directly into these Nazgul. Very, very nice, and that's definitely the easiest way Starling would be able to take out these Nazgul. It's either kind of just getting stun-locked and not able to approach. But yeah, my Found Guard, who actually were victorious over here in this flank, are actually now currently getting shot by the Castmir's Rangers, which is why they're now down to only 21. They were able to catch them, at least for now. Unfortunately for me, though, Frodo is going to decide to kite me, unfortunately, with his 4 Castmir's Rangers. So he is going to actually retreat. Now there's only 3, though. And this is unfortunate because I don't have my bodyguard anymore, or my Gandalf's retinue bodyguard anymore, because they would, of course, be able to chase down these last 2, maybe 3, actually, Castmir's Rangers. Over here, though, Found Guard at 43, and my infantry, somewhere around here, at 34, trying to deal with the last of these Naru and Aru Royal Guard. And they will be able to do that. They will be able to win that fight. And over here, there go the Minas Morgul Chosen. The Shield Guard are at 10, and the Castmir's Legion are at 11, so this will be the end of the fight with Mordor, Gondor, Dale, and Umbar. Over here, Castmir's Legion now going to get butchered by the Dalian Royal Guard. There go the Abrazan Nardu Bawib. There are actually still 7 Girian's Paladins left alive. The Thal Rangers are there as well. And the Nazgul actually were able to get in and amongst these javelins here. There's only 3 of them left, but they still will be able to butcher their way through these javelins despite being horrendously outnumbered. But that's pretty much the end of the first phase. We will now, it's basically now it's going to be who has more left over, basically. And right now, honestly, right now, there are still the Blackshot Dragonslayers and the Dalian Royal Guard, but there's also still Rangers. There are the Ire Ardway, there's the Blackguard, and there's the Witchers. And there's these incredibly skillful knife throwers. So it's going to be close. It's going to be really close, but I don't know. Go back over here. Watch the end of Umbar and Mordor. Over here, the fight has just about wrapped up. Nimlothian Honor Guard down to 28. And I was very impressed with how they held. Obviously, you saw I did commit them very early on, and they held pretty much the entire time. They did not back down, which is very nice. Over here, Fountain Guard and Infantry cutting down the final Naru and Aru Royal Guard. Actually, my 32 Infantry are thinking about routing. They're like, oh no, this one guy, he's so scary. Fountain Guard are like, whatever, dude. But yeah. Over here, you can actually see my Found Guard continuously getting kited by the 2 remaining Castmir's Rangers of Frodo. I'm just trying to chase them down, but I don't really have anything to do it with. And if I try to turn around, then my Fountain Guard are going to get shot. So basically I'm forced just to try to chase him down. However, what's actually down here? Oh, some Harlandon Guard getting chased down by some Guardians of Carndum, and the 3 remaining Ire, Arbrenny, and Nenway. The Mirkwood General is in this unit, by the way. And over here we've got the 7 Greens Paladins and Lake River Patrol trying to kill the Nazgul. Can't see. I think there's still 3 left. Yeah, there's still 3 of them left, so despite being completely surrounded, still getting a nice amount of kills. Yeah, unfortunately for us at this point, it's really not looking too good for us in terms of the overall fight, because we do not have actually very much ammo left at all. I mean, I have none, and Starling has next to none. Whereas there are still Witchers that have ammo. There's still the 158 Barrow Whites, and as we don't have cavalry, it's looking pretty grim for us. However, this point is basically the slow part. We're just going to be dealing with the last of Umbar and Mordor, and then we're going to be trying to and then we will try to meet in the middle with Angmar and Mirkwood. So I'm going to go ahead and I think speed it up. Just at least until we get a little bit closer to the overall fight. Yeah, definitely a very, very nasty fight over here between this team, as well as the other side. The other side was also definitely very close. But I just think that Tangerine made a few army comp mistakes, and they were a little bit too aggressive in some areas, like with those Imladris Sentinels. They rushed forward, and then not aggressive enough in other areas. But overall, still really well played by all the teams involved. Like I said before, I don't generally do free-for-alls just because I don't like how they I don't really like how they play out most of the time. Like there's usually going to be campers, which is really, really annoying. And actually, you even saw that Mordor was camping on this hill, but thankfully he did come down off the hill, so I do give him credit for that. That was nice. There goes some players admitting defeat. And see, we're going to be marching our way over towards the middle. I believe we were trying to decide to meet somewhere by like this tree or something. I don't know. I don't quite know. But yeah, you can see the other team also setting up over here. They've got Blackguard, Guardians of Carndum, they've got their Thandrimir, and they've got a few Maethar down. They've just got scattered units all around. They still have 10 Witchers of Angmar. Stu Balrog doing a very good job at keeping them back and away from the archers. And unfortunately, Imladris and Lindon did not decide to target these guys at all, despite their huge amounts of archers that they brought. And again, 158 Barrow Whites. Ugh, that's not good. I mean, the daily Dragon Slayers are good in melee, same with the Morquendi Bows. And the Galen Royal Guard, but I don't know if that'll be enough. Also, most of the units I have, like the Nimlothian Honor Guard, they're good, but they're mainly going to be good at holding, not actually for dealing damage, as you will see later on. Also, they've been fighting for this entire battle, basically, so they don't have any hit points. Fountain Guard, they are going to be damaging, but again, with all the ammo that the other team has left over, they'll probably get targeted pretty shortly. Go ahead and see what's going on. He's still got some Bardian Marksmen. I've still got a few scattered random units like Gondor Archers, 1 Pelgrim Marine, 1 Gondor Archer, 2 Axemen. I've got a number of infantry left over. I actually think I have the remnants of 2 units of infantry. The other one was completely destroyed. And I've still got 89 Ramscourt Garrison Archers. That, of course, because this was my General's Bodyguard, so I did not commit him in melee until I absolutely had to. And you can see that we are getting a little bit closer, so I'll go ahead and speed it, or put it back to normal speed. More Quindy Bows firing down at the Rangers over here who still have ammo. Definitely a good target. Thankfully, the Ire, Arguay, and Neneth, I think, are out of ammo. But unfortunately, because we're being forced to fight the Rangers here, we're not going to be able to target other units like the Witchers, who, of course, are super deadly with their, like, fireballs. Yeah, definitely been an incredibly bloody battle. Both teams do not have very much remaining, although Mirkwood does still have a few hidden units like those knife throwers that are around. But still, very nice battle. I enjoyed this one a lot, which is not something I can say too often for free-for-alls. Morquendi Bows, again, they are very accurate because they are technically elves, but like I said before, they do not have a lot of ammo remaining to them. However, because they do actually have more men in the unit than these Rangers, they are going to be able to win the skirmish fight. Also, as a whole, Rangers just aren't good in a archer-to-archer fight. There's some Thorny Tower back there. Here comes some Goblin Band out of hiding. Trying to see what else is hiding around here, but I can't. Also, if you'll take a look around the map, the 3 IRR Brandon are kind of trying to outflank us here. As well, over here, I can look, as the final Witchrealm Inquisitor. And there's something else over here, but I don't know. This might just be a routing unit. Nope, it's the Horse Archer. So they are trying to surround us with their 4 maybe, I think. No, 5. 5 total remaining cavalrymen. They are trying to surround us. And I actually did see this, so I moved my Citadel Guard to protect my general here there, because I did not want him to get gen sniped. Blackshot Dragon Slayers were moving up on the hill to try to take some shots at certain units. And I was trying to push forward with my, these just random few remaining units, but as soon as they got into the fight, they just instantly routed, unfortunately. So that will be the end of them. And I will go ahead and put it up to speed just for a little bit, because again, this is where we're basically just deciding what we want to do, because we don't exactly want to go to them, because they have a lot of hidden units, not to mention just overall quality as well. But also we don't have anything to force them to come to us either. So it's basically just going to be a little bit of a stalemate for a while. Well, here comes some Bardian Marksmen and Athala Rangers to try to fight some Goblin Band and Thorny Tower. Actually, I take it back. They're just going to be sitting here. Urian's Paladins there as well. And over here we can look at the Barrow-wights, some remaining Mirkwood Infantry. But yeah, see, they don't have a ton left by any means. I think this Horse Archer is back here as well. Yeah, you can see the Horse Archer running around my back lines, unfortunately. Going to be able to cut down a few of my Ramus Ekhor Garrison archers. Yeah, we're basically just going to go ahead and rush for it now. We don't really have much to... we don't really have anything else we can do. We're just going to go ahead and try to beat him in terms of pure infantry power, but unfortunately for us, I do not really think that that's going to be possible. Mainly because of all those Barrow-wights, man. Those Barrow-wights are so darn hard to deal with, especially if you do not have any cavalry. I mean, especially because, like, this unit right here, these Barrow-wights, you can basically just throw them up against a unit of pikes, and it'll keep those pikes occupied for, like, so insanely long. They're really good target units. Actually, the Guardians of Carn-Dûm sitting here, getting assaulted by some Bardian Marksmen, some Athala Rangers, and some Gondor Infantry. Thorny Tower over here as well. Over here on the flank, 58 more Guardians, 53, and then there's also some Witcher and Blackguard there as well. And there's the Witchers going around the flank. Ooh, not good. They still do have ammo, unfortunately, for us. More Quindy Bows going to be moving around. I believe they might have like 1 or 2 volleys left over. Yeah, now it's basically just going to be the end. It's going to be narrow. It's going to be close. So we'll just have to see who wins this fight. Arguay, Nanway, yeah, they're very good melee. And yes, here comes some Guardians of Carn-Dûm as well, some Barrow-wights to this middle fight. That is currently the only fight that's actually going on. Ooh, there's that last Witchrealm Inquisitor, the last of his unit. He's a knight going to be trying to charge into the Blackshot Dragon Slayers. Going to get instantaneously cut down by those very skillful Dragon Slayers. Over here we've just got a mosh pit of random units. We've got units from Dale, we've got units from Gondor, we've got elves and orcs. That's always neat to see in free-for-alls, all the different types of units that you would generally not see together. Over here we actually have the IRR Brandon United, the General of Mirkwood, as well as some IRR Arguay, the Thorny Tower going to be, and the Rangers actually over here. And the Rangers actually have a good angle at that fight over there, but looks like they're not going to be taking that shot. But yeah, maybe a close fight between these Royal Guard and the Arguay, but the Royal Guard have more men in the unit, so I think the Royal Guard would win that. And I am going to go ahead and try to chase down the Arguay with my Nimlock and Honor Guard, just to try to hold them long enough for the Dalian Royal Guard to come out and help. Over here... I've got a little bit of Fountain Guard over here as well, trying to help out against the Barrow-wights and Guardians, but we just don't really have the numbers. And here comes some Blackguard on the flanks, as well as some more Barrow-wights. River Patrol trying to hold against the Guardians of Carn-Dûm, but the River Patrol are by no means good in melee. And over here, unfortunately, well, yeah, I'm just going to be trying to chase with my Fountain Guard and some infantry. Going to chase after the Arguay, just try to deal with them. The Blackshot Dragon Slayers are actually shooting at the Arguay, taking out a few of them there. There's only one. That's the general, yes, actually. That is, in fact, the general. of Mirkwood there. If we're able to kill the general, we might be able to cause a little bit of routing, but again, they are elves, so they're not going to rout a lot. Gondor infantry charging into the rangers. Got one citadel guard, and yes, this is where you will see the skill come out for real with these Gwathi Aaron Galen. Now that my Nimloth and our honor guard are separated from the fountain guard, he's going to go ahead and about face and rush into my honor guard with his Ira Arguay and his Gwathi Aaron Galen. You can see my honor guard, they're trying to hold, but after fighting so long, they are going down a lot quicker than normal. I'm trying to rush my fountain guard over here to help out. And yes, I was actually able to general snipe. Trying to kill the general just to cause a little bit of routing. So I was able to get my one citadel guard to charge into the back of that general there. And here come the witchers. And my fountain guard were able to, well, unfortunately not able to lower their halberds in time. So you can see they're actually just getting butchered, absolutely destroyed by these Gwathi Aaron Galen. That 22 skill is really quite insane. But yeah, over here, so that will pretty much be the end of my forces. Over here I've got like over here all of my units are dead. You can see my citadel guard actually routing. But yeah, Starling trying to commit his royal guard over here to help out. Fountain guard also routing. But against the sheer numbers over here, we don't really stand much of a chance. The blackguard though, actually struggling against the Morquendi bows just because there are more of the Morquendi bows. And over here the Ramscourt garrison, my generals, yeah. Unfortunately, my general actually did rout. So he did rout fighting against the Guardians of Cardoon. And that will pretty much be it for my army. I'm basically dead. You can see there are still more Queen Bows dealing Royal Guard. So, I mean, he still does have some pretty powerful units. But unfortunately, the Witchers were able to get in range of those Blackshot Dragon Slayers and take out about half that unit, which is very unfortunate because they're so deadly in melee. Well, actually, I take it back. I did have a unit of Gondor Infantry, but they actually just routed now, being chased by those assassins there. And yes, I did go ahead and admit defeat. So that will be the end of my army. Blackshot Dragon Slayers at 11, going to be trying to target specific units, but again, the Witchers constantly chasing them. That will pretty much be the end of them, the Witchers. And they're actually getting shot now by something. Oh, the Ire Arguay, who are still at 20. So yeah, that will pretty much, you can pretty much tell how this one is going to turn out. I hope you guys did enjoy it. I'll go ahead and speed up the last stand of these Royal Guard and the Morquendi bows. Actually, the Witcher on Blackguard got cut down to 5? Oh, maybe all of them died. I thought I just saw one go down. That might have been all of them. There's the General of Dale, actually. But yeah, that will pretty much be the end of this battle. I hope you guys did enjoy it. I definitely enjoyed playing it. I've actually had this replay backed up for a while. I've got 2 very nice sieges coming pretty quickly as well. One ended like 98 to 100%. The other ended like 99 to 100%. So I'm really excited to get those released pretty shortly here. And yes, that is going to be the end of this battle. Starling getting the most kills with 2,200. I was not too far behind with 2,028. The next highest kills went to Tangerine, surprisingly enough, with 1,646 kills. He actually had an incredibly small army. Again, that's probably down to the fact that he invested very heavily in terms of cavalry. But again, very good job to all of the players involved. I enjoyed playing this one a lot. And if you guys did enjoy watching it, please comment, like, and subscribe. If you did not, just tell me what I did wrong, and I'll be sure to fix it for the next video. But before I say farewell, we can take a quick look at the kills. My General's unit actually getting 138 kills, the other one getting 69, the other 2 Standard Gondor Archers getting 144 and 110. Gandalf's Red New Bodyguard doing relatively well at 106 kills. Nimloth, see, this was kind of interesting to me. My Nimlothian Guard were in the fight the entire time, and they only got 89 kills. However, I guess you could say they were fighting in some pretty hard units like the Castamir's Legion and the Shield Guard, but that was not until later. Initially they were fighting against some pretty poor units like a lot of Orcs and stuff, which was kind of surprising why they only got 89 kills. However, Fountain Guard getting 159 and 237, incredibly good units there. Citadel Guard getting 124 and 78, so the first unit did alright, the second not so much. My Gondor Infantry though, I think this was the... I don't remember which unit this was. This might have been the one that was helping out one of these Citadel Guard against all the archers and pikes and footmen, but I'm not totally sure about that. But yeah, all 3 of my Gondor Infantry actually did relatively well, actually did very nicely, especially that unit. Accent of Losternock, I was very disappointed in only getting 38 and 19. Also, my Pelegrin Marines did not do very well, but that was mainly down to poor micro from myself. But yeah, that will be the end of this video, so farewell wherever you fare till your eyes receive you at your journey's end.